What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box, we have the final mainline Ferrari from Hot Wheels in 2025, the last of their kind of reunification efforts in the mainline, at least. This is the Ferrari 365 GTB Competizione, so let's take a closer look at it and see if it is any good. As always, let's get started with our casting. So, proportionally speaking, all looks pretty good. I will say up front might be just a little bit too tall, but I think that's kind of an illusion given off by the plastic bit there. But overall, yeah, I would say that's pretty good. No real complaints there. Go ahead and pop the real-life car in so you can get a little bit of a comparison shot there. But yeah, as you can see, it is pretty cool and looks good. Now, let's break the casting down here because it's actually pretty unique here. So everything you're going to see painted red is going to be your die-cast chunk, and it's pretty hefty. You do have headlights that have been incorporated into the windshield here, which has been done pretty nicely. Your front splitter here, a piece of the base, and now your interior, as you can see in there, is kind of empty at the bottom. You can actually see the red floor of the base here poking out if you look inside there. And what you can also see is the interior is kind of a gray color because it pops out and becomes the exhaust pipes. So I think that looks really cool. Yeah, I think this whole base honestly looks good. In all honesty, it looks great. Fender flares out really nicely. You get these extra little flares of whatever you want to call it, some sort of aero piece that this car had on it in real life. So casting wise has been done very nicely. The execution and the engineering of everything, I think, really came out solid and looks really, really good. So for our paint and deco, we have this one, the bright red one, and then there's a yellow one out as well. And we even know of a third deco that's coming out, I think in A case or B case. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, so we've got this nice bright red with the kind of striping going down just the hood part. I don't know if the real life car, if it went all the way down, but we at least got it on just the hood, which is the main point we would want it. We get 64 on each side, as well as the kind of Ferrari badges there. Up front here, again, you get the 64 and a Ferrari badge. And then, yeah, that's kind of what we've worked with as far as our livery. There was really a 64 in real life, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think pretty good on the deco. So for the detailing, up front here, these plastic headlights, actually you can see the little lamps inside. So that is like one of the most intricate and well done mainline headlights that they've done, especially when they use the kind of windshield as the headlight. I think that looks actually really good, and I wouldn't change that even on premium. I think that looks great. Now, we do get a Ferrari badge up front, as we noted earlier, and then you get like some nice, decent interior details. You can actually see them quite well. A windshield on the windshield, a windshield wiper, I should say, on the windshield. And then you get nice meshing in here. Like, this just overall looks really good and really solid. Wheel choice, I think, is probably the best choice that they could have gone with for the mainline, and they get a good, like, copperish color to them, which I think looks cool. Ferrari badges on the side, which we did mention earlier, and then exhaust poking out from the base, again, which we mentioned earlier. And then you come to the rear section, and that is where we kind of are deprived a little bit. The good news is these are very small taillight sections, so if you really wanted to just paint them yourself, probably wouldn't be difficult. So that's definitely a plus when we can't get it done because of mainline budget restrictions. At least they're small, and they aren't totally missed, in all honesty. Moving into the roll test, it's being a Hot Wheels mainline, it should be no surprise that it rolls, and it rolls quite well. When I put this one on the scale, it comes out to be 34.58 grams, so it is actually a little bit heavier than the typical mainline, which is also a pretty cool little thing in my opinion. So for our pros and cons, getting started with the pros, obviously the price, this mainline price point, pretty solid. You're not going to find a cheaper 365 GTB Competizione. As a matter of fact, I don't actually know of any 164th Competiziones out there other than this one, so that's pretty cool. Could be the only one out there. The other big pro I'm going to give it is the engineering. I really like the way that they kind of incorporated the headlights into the window and actually made them look good. And then the exhaust, a piece of the interior poking out of the base. Always love it when they kind of do breaks like that. I think it ends up affecting the overall look in a very positive way. For the cons, though, as always, we're always going to have to mention that when it happens, but there is no rear detailing whatsoever, and that is a bummer. Although I will say I am less bummed about it on this particular car than I was for like the SF90, because at least I can see where some of the tampo budget went on this one, whereas on the SF90, you know, the tampo budget just wasn't all that hot, especially on the F40. Actually, now thinking about it, the F40 Competizione tampo budget was like abysmal, and they didn't do the rear on that either. So for some quick size comparisons, here we have it with some other budget-friendly Ferraris that you might have. With the kind of a regular version of the 365 GTB from Ferrari, this one's a Hot Wheels mainline, the OG original Ferraris that they used to do. Now, the other one that we have here is the Ferrari 812 Competizione. That one is from Barago, and we did a recent review of that one if you haven't seen it yet. And for some premium comparisons here, we have the Ferrari F12 TDF from Stance Hunters over there on your left, and the Ferrari Monza SP2 over here on your right. This one is made by Centaria. Now, both of these models have reviews. If you have not checked those out, be sure to do so. So let's find some overall scores. The hype level, I'm going to give it a 9.85. This has been the hardest mainline Ferrari to find, at least in my area. It's the only one I actually have not found on pegs yet myself out in the wild. I have 3 of these, and I got all 3 of them from a local diecast show where the dude was selling them for $2 each. So, you know, what, like 75 cents extra on store price. I was not super duper upset about that price, so went ahead and secured myself a couple copies. Execution is going to be a 9.75 out of 10. My only real gripe is the lack of rear detailing, which doesn't super duper bother me like I've talked about. There's a couple other things I wish it would have gotten. I think could have given us a couple sponsors of some kind along the side here, and that would have looked pretty good, but overall, still very happy with that. Feedback is going to be a 9.65. I have seen a few nitpicks and complaints that I personally didn't have beef with, but the community has voiced their opinion there. So when we take these 3 scores and average them out, we will be left with a 9.75 as the overall score, and I think that is pretty good, pretty solid. Maybe perhaps the best one of the Ferraris. I forget what I gave those ones. But yeah, I think this one's solid. I think it looks good, and I'm actually very happy with it. Not really the Ferrari I was most excited for, because I am a bigger fan of modern cars, but I think it was really, really well done, and anyone who's a fan of like a classic Ferrari, they are going to be very happy with this one. And yeah, for that reason, I'll definitely recommend it, but I still wouldn't ever recommend it at scalper prices. See if you can find it on the pegs, or go to a diecast show, and if you can get a good price for it, it's probably worth it, but don't lose your scalp on it, because it is beautiful, but it is not worth like $5 a pop. And that will do it for this review, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to leave a comment telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model, or your thoughts on Ferrari's return to the mainline as a whole for the year 2025, and I will see you guys in the next video.